Hello everyone, my name is Kadi and today is the 9th of July or yeah, I'm currently in an ES trade, so I guess I haven't updated y'all so I switched my strategy. Oh my god, I switched my strategy. Oh my god. I switched my strategy. Oh my god. Um so yeah, I think I talked about it in the last thing. Yesterday I lost. I took an L. Uh, it was yesterday was frustrating because it was two of the same setups on ES um and MNQ. I took the ES trade. The setup never hit the price never hit my entry, and then it took off without me. And then I looked to MNQ and price hit my entry and then took off and hit TP. That was the most frustrating thing that I had to deal with yesterday. How I was day three of the losing streak, because we are on day four of the losing streak. Day three, I was in a much better place. Honestly, I was in a much better place when it came to dealing with the losses. But yesterday, because of how I lost, or that feeling of FOMO, that feeling of being excluded and and people just going on without you and having a great time without you, it definitely connected to my childhood, and that's why it hurt a lot more than day three of the loss. I don't even remember how I lost on day three, and that's how you know it wasn't that effective or that effective on me. But as far as yesterday, it was very effective because it reminded me, like I mentioned, like my childhood, just wanting to be a part of something, wanting to be a part of whatever the people like around me are doing, and watching them leave and have a good time without me. That was a huge part of my childhood. That was a huge part of um just me growing up and just feeling excluded from everybody around me. Uh, so yesterday was very, very, very difficult. It made me want to, it made me want to be more refined. It made me want to refine my rules, refine how I viewed the markets, refined everything that was there. This John is bumping. Jesus. I don't know if it's gonna hit TP, but that John is bumping right now. Um, but I wanted to I wanted to change. I My win rate with this whole new strategy, and I'll talk about in a minute, um, it made me want to refine it. It made me want to go back into the lab and, change this, think about this and do all of this. And the reason why, it's because I want to protect myself from losses. I don't want to feel the pain like how I felt yesterday. I want to be somebody who wins so much more and, have X, Y, and Z, all these expectations of wanting to be better than how I was yesterday because of how it feels to lose. That shit, especially when you felt like you were so close to it, close to winning, and if you just took another setup, or if you took the same setup but on a different instrument, you would have been a winner. You would be maybe out of the trade, out of the what's that word, maybe out of the drawdown a little bit less. Like right now we're in $300 of drawdown right now, and it really made me want to, I don't know, it just made me feel different. you know this is just, I would say it's interesting because I started this strategy this week looking at the losses that I had. Actually, I need to look at them more, but I just remembered there was one loss that I took last week. If I was trading this strategy, TP would have been hit. TP would have been hit, and I would be up a little bit more, even if I was in drawdown. So I'm starting this month of July in a not so great place because of everything. This is switch up, and honestly, I didn't want to do this, but the person that I am, I cannot wait to make a change. I have to make a change when I want to make a change, and that's usually as soon as possible. I'm just that kind of person. Now as far as my strategy, it's the same shit, like supply and demand and fair value gaps. I'm just taking aggressive entries, and I'm also trading for 1 to 2 R's. I back tested this new strategy maybe 411 times, and out of all of it, I'm ranging between 44 to 46% win rate. Now, how I got to this point, because I've been doing one-to-ones, I was doing one-to-ones all of June. I didn't like how break even I was, even though, out of all the tilt and depression and emotional baggage that I had to deal with within that time, ending off a little bit break even, like only losing 25 cents, that's pretty fucking good. But I don't know. One day I woke up from a nap, or maybe, the time that I usually wake up, and I just thought 1 to 2s. It just came into my head, 1 to 2s. And so, you know, I I literally was just like, okay, let me look into 1 to 2s. Let me look into that situation. What is that? What would that look like? Right now, we're hovering around $90 in profit. But none of this shit is realized until it hits TP or stop loss. So it's hard to be like, oh yeah, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, this shit is just, I'm so tired, dude. I'm so tired. Trading is so tiring. It's like, you can work hard, you can study all night and still lose the next day. And that's how it was for me yesterday, and why it was so difficult, because it was like I've been back testing all of this time. Now, granted, within my back test, I do deal with losses. I go on a 5 to 7 losing streak within my data, like a good amount of times. So it's something that I am aware of. But when you backtest something, when you work so hard, and then you come into the markets feeling confident, feeling good, and then you get stopped out on the first trade that you take. And here's the thing, I'm changing my mindset. It's the whole, as long as I follow my rules, I'm a winner. The It's easier to follow your plan versus when you're winning versus when you're losing. Like, that's the thing that I understand, but still emotionally it's hard for me to deal with. Um, like fear, and just going about the day, wanting to be successful, wanting to be good at this, wanting to get out of my job, like wanting to fund so many things within my life. You know, I do put a lot of pressure on myself. I put a lot of pressure on trading, because I see it as this holy grail, this fucking messiah that I've been sent, or that has been sent to me to, change my life. And it has, and it will change my life even more in the future, but it's been such a hard road to even get to this point. Now, I don't know what um what it looks like. Okay, it's so hard to like focus when you see that your trade is like close to TP. It's so hard. I'm trying not to pay attention to it. But I'm like, but I just want to get better within myself. I want to get better with my psycho. Oh, did y'all see that? That shit just fucking rocketed. Jesus Christ. 140, bro. 140. Okay, Let me put that in my system, because you know how I deal with it. I just put in my losses. I put in the trade as if I'm gonna lose. So hold on, and then I'll talk some more, because all the pretty girls come to VA. And this is exactly why I'm going for 1 to 2s. Let me just type it in. First dub on 1 to 2s. Okay. Aggressive entry. Just because just need this for my jump. Just so I have that in my system. Now, the reason, and that's exactly why I'm going for 1 to 2s now. Okay, so I was down. Hold on, let's erase it. Let's erase the entry. So let me see if y'all can see that. I don't even know. It's hard to see. I wonder if you can see the numbers. But I was down 300. You can see that. Today's Wednesday. I was down $308 within the month. Today's Wednesday, the 9th. It's hard to see the numbers. So now I'm going to input the 140 that we just made. Okay. So down 300, and now I'm down $168. And that is the reason why I'm going for. Oh shit, look, gotta focus. Focus on me. It's blurry. I don't know how I can make it. Man, it doesn't even matter. As long as my face is there, as long as you can hear me talking, that's the only thing that matters in this circumstance. Hold on. No, it's not. Yeah, the camera's pretty good. Like, the camera, or is it back to normal? I honestly, I have no idea. I don't even look at myself when I do this stuff. But I just want to say, wow. Okay, 2 things. It's only been a 13-minute stream. I entered the trade a little bit before I clicked record. But yeah, like this is the reason why even when I want to give up, it's hard for me to give up. I made $140 today in less than 25 minutes. At my job, it takes me 8 hours to make $20 more than this. 8 hours at a job that I don't even like, at a boring ass fucking place, to make $20 a little bit more than what I made today. And it's like, this is why I don't see myself ever getting rid of trading from my life, because the amount of time freedom, like imagine I was a full-time trader, like this is just my, because that's going to be my future. Like I'm going to be a full-time trader until I'm able to fund other things, and then I'll be doing other stuff. Like I'm already an entrepreneur, but I need the funding, bro. Like we all need money in order to be an entrepreneur, you need money. And so that's why I am here and doing all the things that I'm doing. Like I don't want to be these people who take such a long time to understand what needs to happen in order to be a consistently profitable trader. I am a consistently profitable trader. but it's my emotions that's not consistent. I can follow a system. I can follow rules. I can take a trade without hesitation. But regardless of the end result, that's where what gets me. I always say to myself, or I was saying this yesterday, it was like, when it comes to trading, even though I literally lost 4 days in a row, it doesn't affect me the day of. The day when I'm actually sitting down, the next day, it doesn't affect me the day when I'm sitting down and thinking about the charts. I mean, sometimes it can, but a lot of the times it doesn't. And let me just exit out of this. Check. No limit orders. Okay. Exit out of this. And some days it gets to me a little bit, but most of the time, majority of the time, I am unfazed about the fact that I lost yesterday. That's a good thing. But then, oh, I should, but then that only, um, oh, okay, no, this is true. Sorry. I'm saying I'm not fazed by yesterday's stuff. But then when I'm on the chart the next day, but then when I'm off the chart and I lost, specifically when I lose, I tend to, my mind wanders to the losses. My mind wanders and be like, okay, like, is this right? Like, am I doing this right? And does this make sense? Am I, like, is like this, that, and a fucking third, right? Like, just my brain just thinks and feels like we can't do anything right. We're dumb. We have, like, we're not good enough. Like, all of the stuff that you get dealt with on a regular basis. I need water. Like, um my brain is thinking that, like, all I'm trying to do is really get into my head, as long as I follow my plan, I am a winner. That is all I am trying to get. Even when it is, I'm losing. Right now, today, I won, right? So it's easy for me to be like, yeah, just follow your plan, and everything, and you're good, right? But when you're losing back to back to back to back, it's a lot harder to say those things and still mean it, especially coming from the standpoint of somebody who has never done a funding challenge, never gotten a payout, never withdrawn a single penny from the markets, and all I've been doing is giving to the markets, right? Like, yeah, I've made money, but this isn't money that I'm gonna withdraw, because I'm I'm still in the stages of, like, not changing my rules, not changing my strategy. Like, I'm still 2 years in changing my strategy. But I'm literally just trying to find who I am. Like, I'm always living the truth of others. Um, and this was how I was doing in my when I was younger, but now it's like I'm living my truth. Now, personally, like, I'm being myself all the time. Like, I'm not trying to pretend to be somebody, to people please, or this, that, and the third. Like, I'm just being who I am. And I'm just trying to, I want to, and I need to apply that same principles into the markets. But here's the thing, there's so many strategies. There's so many RR ratios. Uh there's so many thought processes. There's so many ways to look into the market that it's so hard to figure out, well, who are you? Who are you? There's so many things that you can be, you can do. And it's like when you're a child, or when, specifically, when you're in high school and you're in your junior senior year, and people are asking you, like, oh, what are you going to do after high school? Some people know, a lot of people don't. A lot of people may know where they want to go, like, they want to go to college, but a lot of people, even within that genre, don't even know what they want to study, don't even know what they want to pursue. And I remember being in high school and wanting to do X, Y, and fucking Z, and You know, I was kind of going back and forth with like three careers or two or three careers. It was like computer science or IT or nursing. Those were like the three things that I was like, initially I was like, I'm gonna be a nurse. And then I took a science class, anatomy and physiology, and I was like, this shit is fucking ass. I don't give a fuck about this stuff. I'm not gonna be a nurse. I'm gonna go into computer science. Computer science is hard as fuck. I'm gonna go into IT. Um, and then I woke up from a nap a couple of years later, and I literally went to school for accounting. But then in school, at college, I went to school for accounting. I then switched my major to finance. So in school, in college, like I was only two majors, first accounting and then I switched to finance. But in high school, like I was swapping between three. So it was basically I was like five majors in my head, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Um, it and that's exactly the process that I'm going through in these markets. It's like the first year of trading, I didn't know shit. I barely knew what the fuck this stuff was. And now I'm in my second year, or sorry, now the second year has passed and I'm basically a junior, right? I just started junior year. I'm just starting to be like I'm like 2.2 years in, right? So I have 2 years under my belt. The second year, uh, I felt more comfortable with the charts. I still didn't have like a whole ideal idea of like where who I am and where I should be. Like I was still dealing with like I watch like FX Alex because he's entertaining as fuck, and so just watching him make all of that money, I was just like, dude, like let me catch some real pips because I started as a scalper because that just sounded like, oh yeah, fast. um but then I was seeing the amount of pips I was chasing versus what he was getting. He was going for like 70, 80, 90, 100 pips. And I was just like, damn, that's a lot of pips. Like, bro, I'm trying to be like that. And so for like 3, 4 months, I just remember being in the summer, like the all throughout, I was just being a scalper, and then one day I was just like, you know what? I want to be a swing trader. Like, why am I trying to catch 5 to 10 pips? Like, let me get this. So for like literally 3 months, I was a whole swing trader, and I fucking hated it. I hated it. It was taking too long, bro. Like you like and it and I needed to go through that in order for me to understand that I am not a swing trader. I am a scalper. So that's another identity that can lock in and be like, for sure, I am a scalper. I don't like waiting days for shit to hit my area of interest and then that shit takes off without me. Or no, that's kind of like impossible, but like that shit stops me out, right? Like if I'm going to be in a trade, let me know by the end of the day. If anything, let me know within 15, 20, 30 minutes. Like I can't just like I'm not the type of person that's like, okay, I'm in something and I'm checking my phone every 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. No, 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 no. Let me know now. Let me know now so I can put it in my jaw and be like, all right, it was a dub. All right, I lost. Like so that was something that I had to go through, even though now you look at it and you're like, damn, that was like 3 months. And the whole reason it was 3 months because that was how long it took to get some setups, not one setup, but it was like you had to wait days. I was waiting days for shit. I was setting alerts from here to there and then looking for this and then it was so much. And I won some trades and it was pretty cool. And till this day, it's still something that I want to implement in my life a little bit because it's just like, okay, I'm making like I have a skill, and I'm only making money this one way. This is the only account that I trade kind of, but I made a new account. And so it's like I want to utilize the skill, I'll be honest, to make income, to have money for myself. Um and I just it's just so hard to do all of those things while trying to figure out who you are on a regular basis, because you can get tied up by these people, but it's like, does it align with you? Is that something that you are? You have to ask yourself that. And I'm just grateful to at least know that I am a scalper. Like, I like to be on the 5 minute. I fuck with the 5 minute. The 5 minute has been the time frame that I known my entire trading career. And yeah, I tried the 1 minute. I have a strategy on the 1 minute, but I don't, it's no, absolutely not. And on that, as far as this setup, this strategy, like I mentioned, it's the same stuff. But I'm only doing two things as of right now. It's supply and demand and fair value gaps. Um, the supply and demand, high probability, nothing has changed. The fair value gap, some things have changed, but it's nothing crazy. Like, for instance, there was a win actually before the markets opened, before I was there. So for the fair value gaps, um since I'm doing limit orders, i'm I'm not going to um do like the hold on, like I can, but I'm not going to do this because shit like that happens all the time with fair value gaps. So what I do is kind of have the um limit order cover all of this part. But I know me, that's way too big, right? Like, remember, like every time I had a fair value gap like this big, I never wanted to take it. So what I do is I take the fair value gap at the 50% level. So I use the fib tool, which I'll get into for a little bit later. I use the fib tool. I drag it to the high of the fair value gap, and then the 50% is the middle line right there. I have my entry order, my entry right there, my stop loss right there, and then the 1 to 2 is usually at the end of is at that realm right there. So that would have been a quick little dub right there on in the markets. So let me see, that was 21 ticks. So 21, I'd probably put I'll put 7 contracts, and I would have made around the same amount that I made today. So that's what I do. I personally like this. It's funny how I always had the fib. Like, you'll always have seen the fib tool was right here all the time, but I never used it. So it's just funny how it was always there, and now I have a reason to use it. So I just find that funny because initially, when I was first back testing all of this, I was literally doing this, grabbing this drawing right here, and kind of like, okay, I think this is the middle, and then putting it down right there, and then doing this and being like, that's my zone, bruh. And then literally this weekend, I was just like, hold on, the fib tool has a 50% level. Why don't I just use the fib? And that's literally what I did. So that's the settings. The negative 0.5 is what makes it 1 to 2. That gives me that, like, oh, that's where the 1 to 2 is. And so yeah, that's funny. But as far as the these setups, like I feel it feels like very nice. It feels nice to be a part of it. Like, I fuck with it heavy. Like, I why does this feel weird? Oh, okay. Like, I'm like, why, like, this don't feel right. Like, I don't really know. But yeah, I put this. Yeah, so I feel good. And let me guess, I went to a 1 to 3. Yeah, these go these moves, like, they really stretch. I just every day is such a it's a struggle to be a part of these markets, because, like, I have so much pain within myself, so much, so many things that was within my past that till this day affect me still. And it's like, I'm young, and though, while, that stuff wasn't yesterday, it's not several years, like, I mean, it's a couple of good amount of years, but, like, I'm still young, like, I'm closer to my teenage years than I am being 30 or 40, right? So it's still a lot for me to grasp onto. And there's so many things, like, I know I'm capable of this. Like, I was meant to do this. Like, trading came into my life for a reason, to be my therapist, mainly, but also for me to overcome mediocrity. Because I remember when I was younger, that's what I was aiming for. I remember saying to myself that I want to be like an average person. I remember saying this, like, I want to be an average person. And even without trying, without even, before I was even born, it's like, I'm not the average person in like, really anything. Even when I do something that is average, because I'm doing it, it's not average. Like, I can never be an average person based off of who I am, based off of my personality, based off of how I look like. Like, the things that I do, looking like how I do, is not the average, is not the norm, right? Especially when I was, like, covering and everything. Like, how many times have you saw a Muslim skateboarder, like a Muslim woman skateboarding? You didn't see that shit, bro. Like, snowboarding, you didn't see that shit. Obviously that exists. I'm doing it, but I just never been average. I've never been like the norm of everything. So it's kind of sad and kind of funny how, it's like, I want to be the average person, but it's like, I don't be doing average shit. And it's just so hard to deal with all this stuff, because you want to be somebody of higher status. You want to get to the bag. You don't want to have to clock into a 9 to 5 job. You don't want to have to listen to what anybody says. I want to be tattooed all throughout my body, and not have to think about what anybody would think about it, not have to think about a resume, not have to think about a job interview, not have to think about what people say about you. Because let's be real, once you have money that's more than other people around you, you don't have to listen to what they say. Money rules this world. It doesn't make you happy in the sense of contentment. Like, you can buy things that will make you feel happy, but that's not really what's going to make you feel happy. Everything is internal. Everything is good frequencies. Surrounding yourself with people that you actually care about, and they care about you. Doing things with people, experiencing things, setting, like, going far and beyond the things that you thought you were capable of. That's what's going to give you real happiness. Like, all of this money, I just want fuck you money, because I don't want to have to listen to anybody in their small opinions on how you should live your life. Because every time when you're a broke person, there's going to be people telling you you should do X, you should do Y, you should do Z. But when you are somebody of wealth, those people aren't going to be talking to you like that. The only time they're going to be really talking to you is, hey, can I get, hey, hey, your cousin got, they're going to be asking you for money. But they're not going to be asking you, or sorry, they're not going to be telling you advice, telling you you should do this, you should do that, you should think about this, why don't you do this? They're not going to be doing that. They're just going to be wanting to get money from you. And that's period. Unless they have money themselves. And so that's why there's so much pressure, because it's like, while I've done the thing, I've done the, oh yeah, high school, then you go to college and you get a good job. I do that. I'm a fucking accountant. Like, nobody's gonna tell me, like, that's why I'm saying, like, even in my like life, no one is telling me in my regular life, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Why? Because I make more money than them. Let's keep it a buck. I make more money than like 75% of my friends. So it's kind of like they really can't tell me anything. They really can't do anything. And like, I make more money than like my father did when he was my age, or how much money he makes now. I don't make more money than my mom, but I can't say I'm close to it, but I'm pretty close. Like, she makes like maybe like 1,000 more than me a month. So it's like I'm 23 years old and I'm making this amount of money. So it's like no one can really tell me much other than my fucking job. I don't like being told what to do. In a way, I'm somebody who likes to reach out for help, when I have help, like I need advice. I'm somebody that is stubborn, but I'm not too stubborn where I can't admit that I have no idea what I'm doing, or I can't admit that I did something wrong. I'm not that stubborn. My ego's not that high. If I make a mistake, I'm going to tell you right then and there I made a mistake. I'll tell you that before anybody else does. I'll say things about shit that a lot of people will try to keep inside, and X, Y, and fucking Z. So for me personally, it's like I just don't like the fact that I'm on, like, I feel this is how I feel. Maybe I can interpret it differently, but for the person that I am, the stubborn person in me, I don't know how to not interpret the fact that I am under someone's thumb when I go to work. I am under management. I am under supervision. I can't do whatever I want when I want to do it. I have to do X, Y, and fucking Z, or else there will be repercussions for it. And that goes in everything in life. I don't want to be an entrepreneur so that I can just do nothing all day. I just want to be an entrepreneur so that I can do the things that I want to do all day. I'm okay with being tired. I'm okay with getting, 2, 4 hours of sleep, having a not so great sleep schedule. But when I wake up, am I doing things that I want to do? Yes, then it's all worth it. It's all worth it. It literally is all worth it, bro. And it's like, you watch these people, you watch these entrepreneurs, you watch people like FX Alex, like FX Mamba, TJR, and you're like, dude, like, they are tired. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but when you look at their eyes, you're like, you see those rings around their eyes. They are exhausted. They don't get a lot of sleep. But here's the thing, they're doing something that they love. They're doing it on their own time. They can do whatever they want, in the sense of, when they're not working, they can do whatever they want. When they are not working, even when they are working, they can still do whatever they want. Because majority of the time when they're working, they're just talking. They're not actually doing laborious stuff. They're just more so talking to the team, making plans, making content, like strategizing on how to make content and this, that, and the third. That's what it is. They're talking. Bruh, I don't even know how long I've been here. You see how much I can talk? I can fucking talk. If you're telling me I can make hundreds and thousands of dollars, like within days, within weeks, within months, and all I have to do is just talk, but like talk a lot and have other people do work for me, because I'm gonna have a team. I'm not gonna do this all by myself. What the hell? What the helly? I'm gonna have a whole payroll, and I'm okay with that, bro. I am okay with that. As long as shit is getting done, as long as I'm fucking happy with the shit that's being released, I'm okay with paying people, bro. I want to pay people. I can't wait to pay people to do other shit, cuz right now, aside for like one thing, I'm doing everything by myself. Like, I do everything by myself, and I've always been that way. But like, shit, if you're telling me I can pay X, Y, and Z to do all this stuff for me, and it's gonna look awesome, hell yeah, sign you up to be a part of the payroll. Congratulations. And I say thank you, because I don't want to do that shit. And there's so much stuff like I can't wait to do. And I'm glad that I have become a person that doesn't wait for trading to change my life. I'm already changing it. Trading has already changed my life. It just hasn't changed it in a monetary sense. I would say it's changed it in a monetary mindset, but it hasn't changed my life monetarily yet. It will, but now it's changing my mindset, mentally, and just how I pursue life now. Like being consistent. Like I'm proud of myself for how consistent I'm being. Like I take showers on a regular basis now. I wash my face like 2 times a day now. I could not say that a year ago. I genuinely could not. Like I did not take care of myself as much as I do now. And so I'm proud of the person that I am and who I am becoming because it's somebody who is consistent. I go to the gym at least once a week. It's not 5 days a week because like what the fuck? Like I'm not that person. Okay? I have a good body. There are things, like my stomach that I want to like reduce down. Like I want to be jokingly like a Quinn Blackwell, like waist zero, the waist size zero, like snatched. But here's the thing: is like you get a body like that because that's out of pocket. You get a body like that through body dysmorphia, body through anorexia, bulimia, eating disorders. That's not funny, but I mean, she eats, but she watches what she eats. She diets. She works out. She exercises. She literally like I don't eat carbs. Like no, and it's just like I if the sacrifices needed to get a body like that is not what I'm willing to do. Like I like the idea of having that body, but like honestly, like I don't get it a lot, but like people think I'm attractive now with how I look like. Obviously if I weighed size zero, like people would be like, yeah, but it's like I don't really want that body, but I just want that I want the stomach, like a flatter stomach, like how high I'll look, or should I say hotter I would look in a crop top? Like, yes. Anyway, I just, you know, I just want to be in a place that's like bigger than where I am. And it's so depressing to be a part of trade in the morning before I go to work, and also just when it like today, like when I go to work, it's gonna be easy, right? When I'm taking the trolley and I'm journaling, which I need a new journal, which should come today because I'm down to like 1 page. So like, dude, look at this. Look how thick this book. Let me get it. Look how thick this book is, okay? Dude, let's see. Fucking like like do y'all see that? Like do you see how like yes, girl. Not a single page missing. Not a single page unfilled. I have like literally a couple pages left. This is just some drawings that I did. Like 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 this, like I have this page, and like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna write like around here, and then I have this. But like I need that shit today, bro. Like for real. Cause by the end of today it's probably gonna be full. But I love how like the trade is like 13 minutes, like it doesn't take long, but then I just talk for the rest of it. And I literally don't care because nobody watches this shit. Um Arriving tomorrow. Okay, so I have shit arriving today. Um it's coming today. Check before they steal. I'll let you know. But it's just so like, dude, you know, it, yeah. So the reason why I switched my strategy, the reason why I've gotten to this point is because when I'm dealing with a one-to-one, it's manageable. Like you can do that, but you have to be perfect, essentially. Obviously, you're not going to win every trade. Nobody does, but you have to be executing to the T every time, do diligently. Like you have to be on your shit. And it kind of goes back to figuring out who I am. And I'm somebody who likes that, who likes those people. I'm somebody who um likes being perfect, likes being analytical, likes being all those things. But at the same time, I had to like look at who I was as a student. I get good grades. I was getting good grades, bro. Like, number one in my high school. Um, like graduated college with honors, with a finance degree. Like, I have good stats. But here's the thing. I was not a studier, okay? I didn't read those books like that. Like I did, but I didn't read those fucking books. Quizlet and Chegg was the reason why I got majority of the grades that I got. Now, I would say that I did lock in for, let's say, 2 to 3 classes. There's one class in particular that I definitely did lock in and I deserved that grade. Financial management. I got an A in that class, 100% deserved it. I worked my ass off studying. Like, I actually read the book and studied. And it was for 2 reasons. The professor inspired me, encouraged me, and it was like one of those professors that you don't want to let down. And second, the things that we were learning about, I was genuinely interested in. Like, so it was so easy to just sit down and read a chapter or read something for like 3 hours, just trying to understand it because I felt like the knowledge was important enough to really sit down and learn, right? I mentioned I felt like that for 2, 3 classes, really just that one class, and then others that were difficult, so I had to lock in on. But like other than that, bro, I'm finding the answers online. Like I said, Quizlet, Chegg, whatever is on, like wherever I can find the answers. Whether it could be from people who took the class last year. Like I remember I was in this class, our first test. The person took this class last year, she had the answers still, so we was cheating, bro. I love to cheat. I love to cheat because it's like I want the good grades, but it's like I'm not there gonna be studying 15 hours a week for some fucking bullshit. And I never even called it bullshit, but I just thought it was bullshit to study. In a sense, like it's like so much work. Like, do you want me to sit down and read this shit? Like, bro, like what the fuck? So, this was during the time when I was just getting in to the whole like, oh, 1 to 2 things. I started to be like, wait a minute, like while I do like good grades, I'm not somebody who likes to work hard for good grades. Here's the thing, like I literally ran into, well, I worked with somebody who was like a 3.9, 4.0 student. Dude, he literally was doing study sessions. He was going to office hours. He was studying on the like non-stop, like very particular, very specific, very like to the nose, like into it, like will put the hours in. And it's just like he graduated university with like a 3.9 or a 4.0, like a 4.0. I graduated university with a 3.47. Dude, and it makes sense. Like me, I see that guy and it's just like I'd never do some fucking shit like that. I'd never be such a fucking tryhard. But here's the thing, that's who he is. Like he's a tryhard. Like he likes to do those things. He enjoys it. That's just how he was raised, or and how he, proceeds through life. I'm not that fucking shit. I'm not that. But I want the lifestyle of a person that is like that. Like the notoriety that comes from being a 3.9 student, a magna cum laude student. So it's like I like all those things, but I'm not putting the work in to getting those things, right? I'm not putting the work in to get a high GPA like that. Like, so realizing that, or like coming to terms with like, yeah, like I like doing good, I like getting good grades, but I'm not gonna put in the work like that you did to get that kind of grade. Like I'm not studying for like 15, 20 hours a day, or sorry, a week. In a week, like you're bugging. Like, dude, like that's so, like, absolutely not. But here's the thing, if we transfer to trading, it's like the same thing. It's like I'm not willing to, like I'm trying to have results of a person that studies and does all the things, all the necessary things, of to get such a high win rate, right? But I'm not that fucking kind of person. I'm not that kind of person. I don't have the best execution. I'm somebody that's like, okay, well, if we're trying to get something done, let's do X, Y, and Z. It may not be the best, the flashiest, or it barely works, but does it work? Does it do the thing that we needed to get done? Yeah, it may not be, the best, but is it getting the work done? Yes. We're good. We're good, right? Like I don't need, it doesn't need to be anything crazy. Like, and I can apply that with like my coding, with my music, with like my editing or something like that. Like it doesn't need to be the best. It just needs to be the thing that gets done. I feel like a fucking nail. But, all this to say, it's like I'm trying to get the results of people who like really lock in and want refine their strategy to the fucking T, and look at this, look at that, look at all these things. And it's like I had to really realize that I'm not that kind of person, right? Like I can be that kind of person, but for how long? Till I get tired, till I get so like, dude, like, oh, let's just do this. Like, why do I have to do all of this? Let's just like, why can't we just fucking do this? Like this easier version, simpler version, and just get it over with. Like that's how I am. It's like if I if I look at X, Y, and fucking Z and always have to think like crazily, like I'm gonna get frustrated and or bored or just exhausted with the amount of shit that I have to keep up with. Um, and so, realizing that that's kind of who I am. Like I'm somebody who loves notoriety. I'm somebody that loves to look flashy and look like they're really smart, but at the same time, I'm not to say I'm not smart, but at the same time, it's just like I'm not studying. You trying to go for your CPA? Bro, I'm never going back to school. I'm never going back to school. I paid off my student loans. I'm never gonna put myself in that position again. I'm never going back to school, bro. So that's the whole thing. So if they pass this CPA, only need 120 credits, well, that's tough. That's tough. Like, but I still don't want to become a CPA. But I definitely don't want to. Definitely not going back to school. So you missed me with that bullshit, bro. Missed me with that bullshit. So that's really like why I, am like, I'm still working on myself. I'm still getting into the position that I need to be in order to be consistent with something, but I had to relax on the rules because I don't like rules. I don't really like following things. I like doing whatever I want. Um, but I do like structure, but at the same time, it's like I do like doing whatever I want. Like that's something that I love. I love freedom. Um, of choice, but I do understand that I still need structure. And that's why, and this is why I'm saying it's like you can do all of these things. Check this, check the 1 hour, check the 4 hour, check the daily, check the 15 minute, check the 1 minute, check all of these things. But like, didn't I literally just make $140 just by seeing a high probability supply and demand zone, putting my having my entry a limit order set there, and then watching it hit TP? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can do all those things, but didn't I just win a trade solely because of just those three things or something? Like, I didn't look at any other time frame. I didn't. I didn't. In fact, to kind of get me, I'll keep the 15 minute though. I'll keep the 15 minute. Take the 4 hour away. Like, I'll keep the 15 minute. I don't even look at the 15 minute though. But but maybe I will. Like I said, 15 minute on, like, the 5 minute is all I need. For real, the 5 minute is all I need. Like, you can look at the 15 minute, but the 5 minute alone works. I've back tested, like I mentioned, 400 times, over 400 times, and I only looked at the 5 minute. I feel like, I could use the 15 minute to maybe. And here's another thing, I've been trying to get rid of this shit. I don't even need these EMAs, like, all of them. Like, yeah, all I use is the 200. Like, it's getting raw. Like, it's very bare minimum. It can work or it doesn't work. Like I mentioned, like, dude, like, if I had traded, like, this is like 6 o'clock, like, I was asleep, but like, if I traded like that, like, I literally would have won, and that would have been it. I mean, we won here, but it's like, I just got to keep it simple, like, that's just who I am. And with YouTube, it makes you want to do so much, but in reality, you don't need to do a lot. What they say, less is more. And so that's what I'm, you know, take like putting on myself. Less is more. So it's it's gonna be hard because I'm still on YouTube. I'm still watching these, like, six-figure millionaire traders, and so you hear how they trade, even if it's just for a little bit. And then they're like, all right, let's check the 4 hour, let's check the 1 hour. Okay, there's liquidity sweep, there's this resistance, there's head and shoulder, like, so it makes you want to, like, do a whole bunch, because you're like, okay, well, I'm not doing any of those things, should I? But in reality, it's like, you don't need to do any of those things. The only thing that you need to do is just be yourself. Because I was myself today. I followed my rules, and I was a winner today, um uh like, trade wise. But as long as I follow my rules, I am a winner. Like, it's easier to follow your plan when you're winning versus when you're losing. And that's why today I'm so happy go lucky. I'm so, damn, I really have to go to work. I'm so irritated. If I could talk forever, I would. But there's just so much stuff that I want to say. Like, I have my rules. I'm looking at my rules right now. It's on my wall, and it's very simple. 1 to 2 RR, use limit orders only, aggressive setups only, use the 200 EMA. If the market is buy it, wait to trade whichever way is away from it. And then supply and demand and fair value gaps. Fair value gaps 50% level. Supply and demand, high probability setups. And it's like, if the wick of the high, if the thing is like, it's a good example. If the thing is like this, I don't like huge stop losses. I will take it and adjust it. And this is my supply and demand zone now. With the limit order, I want a small stop loss, and yeah, take that up. That's so funny that that's here. Doyle would be like, I don't trade like that, but guess what? I trade like that. That's just, those are the people that's in my head. Like, Doyle's the main one that's in my head. Like Doyle and others get in my head, and I compare myself to where they were at the same point as me, and I feel behind. That's the main thing about recently, because it was like, I'm pretty sure within, Doyle's second year or so, like he was already making money from the markets. Like, but even if it was like $200 a day, it was still money that he was making on a regular basis, and he was consistently profitable. And it's like and I think he was making money before that too, like maybe a year and a half in or something like that. Like it didn't take long for him to pick up and be disciplined and do X, Y, and Z. And those are those are expectations of a person that's not me. I didn't have his struggles. I didn't have his mindset. I've been in a world that's different than his, in situations that he cannot relate to, and, vice versa. But of course, you just constantly, constantly, constantly compare yourself. And it's like, it's so hard to not do that. And that's why I'm not in any group chats anymore. I was in the Discord, his Discord, and that shit was just so toxic, even if it was the best thing that I did for myself. It was just like, you don't want to be in that place for too long. Like, bunch of opinions, bunch of trade ideas that you took or probably didn't take, a bunch of people winning on the same setup that you did, but they won like 10x more than you did. Like, it's kind of hard to be happy about winning a $20 trade when niggas are winning 2,000, 20,000, 200,000. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Um but I'm still excited. It's so funny how, like, I get into these ruts of trading. I never think I'm gonna quit. I don't think, like, I already know I'm not gonna quit. Like, I don't quit. Like, I'm not quitting. There's no way. There's literally no way, bro. Like, it doesn't even make sense for me to quit. It literally does not make sense for me to quit. And I was funny because I was talking on the phone with my cousin, and he asked me like, how's the trading thing? And I jokingly was just like, man, I quit. And I was just joking, and he was just like, yeah. And he told me like, yeah, man, I probably would have quit already. I probably would have quit. And it was crazy to hear that, because it was just like, wow, like, people, when they don't get what they want right away, they quit and they never come back. And it's crazy to me. Like, I can't say I've never been that person, but for the most part, I'm not that kind of person. For the most part, when it's something that I actually care about, when it's something that I'm genuinely interested in, you're not going to see me quit and never go back to it. I may stop it because it's like stressing me out, but I'll always most likely come back to it. Just like with coding, bro. I've been wanting to code since the sixth, seventh grade, and I started and quitted and started and quitted and started and quitted for so long. But now I'm at a good point with it. I still think about it, but now I'm at a good point with it where, like, I've implemented code in my job. Like, I do stuff that, like, I code, I do formulas and things like that. So it's cool to see that, I never gave up, because I love coding. I love the idea of coding. I love the idea of automating and doing stuff. That's why, I'm interested in building like an algo bot for my strategy, but I gotta get right first, like, fuck the chart. I mean, fuck the bot. Like, I gotta get right first with me as a trader, because I want this to be my thing. Like, this is gonna be my thing, but I also want to build something in the future to replicate what I already do to make money in my sleep, you know? That would be tough, right? Um, but yeah, man, like, I'm just here and I'm keeping it simple. And I think the one thing that I fear the most is, I've been doing this for some time. This is the first year, 2025, where I'm actually like tracking my data, and like as diligently as I am. And I just don't want to. I'm tired of switching up. I'm tired of being like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then I do that, and like, I've only stuck to one strategy for like a month. Like, on these papers, I don't know if y'all see. but I had rules about a different strategy plan that I had back in May, and I chalked all of it in June, and now second week of July, here I am doing a completely different strategy. Like so it's like I've seen myself flip-flop for these past couple of months, and it's not a good look. I don't like the fact that I am doing that, but at the same time, I like the fact that I'm not getting away from my strategy completely and switching it up from the T. I'm just refining it to reflect the person that I am. And so that's why it's a little bit annoying to be um doing something different the third month in a row, but at the same time I'm just refining more and more and more into something that aligns with the person that I am. Now, the reason why I love one to twos, I'll get into that, is I don't have to be right all the time to still be a winner profitably, like monetarily. Like I was back testing, like I mentioned, over 400 times. I went through several losing streaks in a row. Like that's something, a part of my data that will happen. I'll go through 5 to 7 losing streaks, and it's daunting. It's hard. But then, as I kept on going through the back test, like if you lined it up, I still end up profitable within the end of the month. And if I'm not profitable, then I'm only down like -1 R. Like that's the crazy part of it. It's like I'm not that profitable, but it's like I'm not doing that bad as you would think, losing 5 times, 7 times in a row, compared to if I lost 5 to 7 times in a row on a one-to-one strategy, bro, I would have to win 5 to 7 trades um in a row to just get back to break even, and then win after that to be in the positives. Versus with a one to two, like if I lose 5 trades in a row, that's -5 R, right? And in order for me to get back to positive, I only need to win 3 times after that. So, because, 2, 4, 6, and then I'll be up 1 R. And even if I win 2 trades, I'm only down -1 R. And so that it's just crazy to me that like the higher risk reward that you have, the lower your win rate, but also the easier it is to come back from a loss. Like if like with this strategy, I can be aiming for one to threes. Now let's think about that. Like just real quick, 70 times 3. Like I could have aimed for 1 to 3 on this trade, of course. Like and TP would have hit. That is 200 $210. I mentioned prior I was down $235 or some shit like that with this one trade, 210. I would be -$25 type shit, or $20. Like just like that. Now I'm down 160. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but let's say I win tomorrow, bro. Let's say I win tomorrow and I'm risking the same 140. I'll still be down, right? I'll still be down, but it's like significantly a lot less compared to how it was. Like, all right, hold on. Yeah, man, it's allowing me to be less perfect because that's exactly who I am. It's allowing me to not have to be like on my shit and still end up profitable. Now, of course, this is the first time I'm ever doing one to twos. So, like, I don't want to put so much pressure on myself because I'm so used to doing that. Like oh, excuse me, I like have gone through these moments, these periods of just wanting to be a certain way, wanting to be perfect, pressuring myself and trying to do crazy shit. I don't think I talked about this, bruh. La June or just throughout this thing. After I blew my account in April, I was saying to myself, bro, if I break a rule, like my main rules, I will take 6 months off of trading. 6 months. I was that strict on myself. And then in June, I broke my rules, but I didn't want to stop trading. But at the same time, I felt that guilt. And I had to like kind of talk about it, but it was just like, dude, that is ridiculously like crazy, like 6 months. And I was using that to scare myself to be disciplined enough to not break my rules. But that's just like, that's just so much. Like, imagine if I spoke like that to my employee. Like, if you don't do this right, 6 months, no work. Like, that's crazy. That's so hard. Like, I'm still in the beginner stages, and it's like it's a huge expectation, and yeah, just not the way to go. So I'm going through all of these things. I'm learning from my mistakes. Um, and I just want to be a better person, a better, kinder to myself, a better boss, a better employee, and not making mistakes purposely, but not being a person who's going to, get crazy and, very strict if rules happen to be broken. Like, I don't want to do that for myself. I don't want to be that kind of person. I am so late to work. It's actually ridiculous. But it's like, this is just my mind. Like, I don't want to leave. Like, I just need to talk about these things. Because it's so important for me to express how I feel. It's so hard for me to get into this mindset. I can't talk to this with anybody. So I can't, not to say I can't, but it it's so hard to talk to this with other people because there's nobody there that really understands what I'm going through. Granted, now, I do have a friend that, checks in on me and stuff like that, but it's just nice for me to talk. I love to talk. I just love to talk. And it's just like I can't wait till when I'm getting paid to talk. Like, I can't wait till I have an audience that actually wants to hear every word that I say. That's gonna happen. I have a good personality. I bring a lot to the table. I just need to bring a better emotional mindset to the table because, like, today ended the 4-day losing streak, which is the longest losing streak that I've ever been on. But at the same time, it's like, I don't, like, while that is the reality, I want to be unfazed by losing and be grateful for it, or just like, oh, I lost, okay. Like, you can be irritated, you can be frustrated, but my frustrations go beyond not the trade not working out. It taps into my childhood. It taps into my senses of fear. It taps into like FOMO. It just, yeah, like fear, like, really, it taps into like all of those things. And it's just so hard to get back into the state that I am now, where it's just like, as long as I follow my plan, I am a winner. I have it. I say it a lot now. I have it on my wall. It's just hard to say those things to yourself when you feel like a loser. Like, every time I lose, not every time, but when I'm losing, like, I feel like a loser. Like, and I'm trying to figure out how can I get myself out of that mindset of how to not feel like a loser even though I lost. Even though I do know, as long as I follow my plan, I am a winner, but I've always put my worth in the money of trading, right? Like, it's so easy to do that because it's like, when you win money, you're a winner. When you lose money, you're a loser. Like, that's just kind of how it is in life. But here's the thing, it's like, if you take it to sports, or if you take it to football, if you're a 10-0 team and you lose your first game, right? Are you a loser? You're a loser in that, like, you lost that game, but aren't you still a winning football team? You know what I mean? Like you, let's say you end the year 10-4, or 10-2, 10-4, or whatever, or 12-2, or I don't even know how many games are in a fucking season. But let's say that was it. Nobody will look at you like, oh, they're losers. They don't know how to play football. They don't know how to do X, Y, and Z. Like, yeah, you lost 2, 4, 5 games, but you have a winning record. You're a winner, right? and and that's kind of like how it is. I mean, there's still some aspects to it, like, are you still a winner if you have a 5-10, season, like, but for me it's kind of like, how I need to learn, and I want to learn, like, how can I genuinely feel like I am a winner? How can I deal with losses in a way that makes me feel like I'm not a loser solely because I lost the trade? Like, how can I change my mind and say, like, hey, like, yeah, this trade didn't win, but you followed your rules. That's literally all that matters. Like, at the end of the day, the win, the loss is it doesn't define you. It's just an outcome. Like, the only thing that should make you get angry or frustrated at yourself is you not following your plan. That's literally like the only thing. And it's like, I know this, and I'm saying this to myself to kind of get it into my brain, but I've been wired to from school, just how we were raised, right? Like, if you get good grades, you're a good student, you're smart, you're X, Y, and Z, you're gonna do big things in your life. If you get bad grades, you're not smart, you're lazy, you don't want to work, you'll work at McDonald's for the rest of your life, you're a loser, right? That's how everything has been painted in our world. But when you come to trading, it's like, regardless of if you passed the test or failed the test, as long as you did the things that you said you were going to do, you're a winner regardless. Like, that's weird. That's not how we were programmed, right? We were always programmed to be a winner, or to be a loser, based on the grades that you get, the GPA, the things that you've done. Like, everyone treats you differently when you are higher, when you have, higher intelligence, when you like, I got special treatment in high school, not a lot, but like, people, like, teachers liked me because I was a good student. I didn't cause any chaos, so I was able to do a lot of things that some other kids would not be able to do. A double standard. But here's the thing, it's like, when in trading, you can't get away with doing um whatever you want just because you're a good student, just because you studied hard, just because you did X, Y, and Z. Like, no. The only thing that you should reward yourself for is because you didn't do whatever you wanted. You did the things that you said you were going to do, the things that follow and align with your plan. That's the only reason, and that's the only way that you could ever consider yourself a winner. Today, I am a winner because I followed my plan. Yesterday, I am a winner because I followed my plan. All of July, I have 4 losses, 1 win. I am a winner because I was a winner because I followed my rules. Even though my plan has changed, I followed my rules depending on the plan that I had. But in my brain, it doesn't feel like that. So that's the thing that I'm just trying to get into myself, like, yo, like, you followed your plan, you are a winner. You followed your plan, you are a winner. You followed your plan, you are a winner. You don't follow your plan, that's when you're a loser. Even if you won, you didn't follow your plan. Like that June, like that trade that I took on in June, on that Thursday, the one that I lost $60 on, I was a loser, not because I lost the trade, but because I didn't follow my plan. I took a trade that didn't align with my plan. I am a loser. That's the only time I should ever say that to myself. But all throughout July, I followed my plan. Therefore, I am a winner. But I still don't feel like that. So I need to work. I need to go to work. But I need to work on that. And I'm gonna, you know, I'm just gonna keep on working. I'm gonna keep on grinding, and, you know, just hope for the better, because I'm meant for more. I know that I am. I know that trading is difficult, trading is hard, but it's only hard because you have to deal with the mental aspect of being a human, right? To be a human in the world that we live in, doing the things that trading requires, it's difficult. And that's why so many people quit. I'm grateful to say that I am not a quitter at this. Not to be like I'm better than everybody else, but no, like I just what the hell? I could not wait. Okay, I was like, am I even recording? Um, I just could not do that to myself to um to just be somebody of less self-worth and just trying to be somebody that does something that's great. I'm kind of like talking in like autopilot mode. I don't even remember anything that I said. But just basically just working on myself to call myself a winner solely because I followed my trading plan. But it's just difficult because, you know, again, we live in an environment, a society where that's not how you honor anybody. That's how, the way you honor people is solely based on the things that they do, solely based on the actions that they commit. Did they um your ex-girlfriend? Oh, upload video, sorry. That's wild because I felt like they were together for a very long time. Um but yeah, nah. I'm like I just made the thumbnail, so I'm about to end this video here. It's mad long. No one watches this shit. This is literally just my therapy. But I have to do better at giving myself grace, being kinder to myself. These are things I do not do well on because it's like if if I'm not making money, if I'm not up, if I'm not wealthy, like what's the point of even giving myself a pat on the back? Like it's hard. It's hard. I'm a very particular person. I'm somebody that wants to be right all the time. I'm somebody that craves perfection or at least craves winning and being on top. And so when I'm not on top in the way that I like to be, it's very difficult for me to be kind to myself, to say that I did that, to say good job, Kadi. Like that's just not how I raised myself. Um, but it doesn't like continuing to do that thing and continuing to raise myself in that kind of way is not going to make me a consistently profitable trader that I know that I am. It's not going to get me out of my job. It's not going to get me the 10K a month that I know that I will obtain. So I just know I have to get back on the chopping board and just be kinder to myself. It's so easy to say the words. It's so hard to actually be actionable because I'm decoding over 2 decades of programming, and it's hard. It's difficult. Um, but I'm never gonna give up. I'm never gonna quit. I'm always gonna keep on pursuing my dreams. I believe in myself. I believe in my abilities. I am a consistently profitable trader. I will have my own music studio. I will achieve time freedom. I will be out of my job by the end of 2027. I will have 10K plus a month coming in due to trading and all the various ventures that I will pursue. I am a consistently profitable trader. I will have my own music studio. I will achieve time freedom. I will be out of my job by the end of 2027. I will be making 10K plus a month by the end of 2029. All right.